Hello, everyone. This is Marx with,
Your co host, Julie.
and this is our companion show to GenreTainment called GenreTalk.
Now, on GenreTainment, we interview writers, game designers, directors, producers, and actors. But with Genre Talk, we're talking genre. We review different movies and TV shows, and maybe some other things too. It will usually just be us two, but we might occasionally have a guest host.
Now, how often we do this show is partly up to you. So if you like this, let us know by subscribing or leaving comments. Like it, follow us, or if you want to be super cool, join our Patreon over on patreon.com/Cabbit Crossing. And for those of you who don't listen to us on YouTube, might not know that Cabot Crossing is our publishing company where we publish novels, anthologies, and we are now also producing GenreTainment, Genre Play, and more as part of Cabot Crossing Publishing.
Now, today we are talking about the movie Twisters.
Yes, we are. First, we're going to try to be spoiler free in our review. Then we're going to get spoilery. At the end, we'll give our ratings. So if you don't want to be spoiled, we will cue you when to skip to the end, and we'll try to put times in the show notes to help with that.
Now, the official synopsis for Twisters is Kate Carter, a retired tornado chaser and meteorologist, is persuaded to return to Oklahoma to work with a new team and new technologies. This movie stars Daisy Edgar Jones as Kate, Glenn Powell as Tyler, and Anthony Ramos as Javi.
Now, sequels have had mixed successes over the years. This movie, I would sort of consider more like a spin-off than a sequel, since
Yeah,
there's very few direct connections to the original film from 1996, except for those pesky tornadoes, of course.
and
So,
and Dorothy.
and Dorothy does make an appearance, yeah. So far, as of the time of this recording, which is the weekend of September 7th, the movie is nearing the end of its run in theaters and can be rented or purchased online. According to Box Office Mojo, it has made, and keep in mind, this isn't the final numbers. Domestically, it's made over 264 million, internationally over 101 million. Now, how does that compare to the original Twister, right? Well, domestically, it made 241 million, internationally 252 million. So,
Wow, so internationally, the original more than doubled.
yeah, the original did way better. Yeah, so if you look at it, it's like the breakdown of this Twisters movie was 72% domestic, 27.7% international. Whereas the original Twister movie was a lot closer to 50-50. It was more like 48.9% and 51.1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't do as well internationally as the original did. I don't know. And I don't know how, those numbers compare, over time. I would say at least domestically it did on par. So, and this budget did go up due to global events, of which we will not say the name of, and also the writer's strike. So it went up to eventually, for what I've seen, about 200 million for this movie. It was going to be much smaller than that. So not as strong internationally, but similar run domestically. And honestly, not unusual with this post global event we will not name. So, probably a decent run, in theaters. And it's going to get something that the original didn't have was a lot of streaming revenue, probably.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
yeah. But is it a good movie? What do you think, Julie?
I liked it. I thought it was a fun, entertaining movie. There were, it I think it hit all the marks. It had moments where it was funny, it had moments where it was very touching, and there was a lot of excitement, and it just kinda took you on that roller coaster ride that you would expect from a film like this.
Mhm. Yeah, I like this movie more than I expected. I mean, I figured it'd be good, from the buzz I've been hearing, but I didn't expect it to be as strong of a film as it was. There's
Yeah,
no
it was
go
better than I thought 'cause I loved the original one so much
Yeah.
that I just was like, "Oh, this one's not gonna be nearly as good," because, it just never is. But it was almost as good. It really
Yeah.
was.
And it's hard to compare to Bill Paxton, who passed away in 2017. But I think the characters in the film were really strong. Amazing tornado scenes, it's good acting, nice chemistry between the leads, some unexpected twists. I think made it pretty strong overall. There's also a fair amount of science mention. I don't think I have this spoiler yet. There's a fair amount of science mention. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I
Mhm.
did read that the National Weather Service warning coordination meteorologists hosted like 18 of the cast and crew for what they kind of was dubbed Tornado Boot Camp back in 2023. So kudos to them for doing some extra research
Yeah.
and kind of getting to know how the weather affects people in that area and such. So, tornadoes are a very real danger for people, including us here in the
Including
Midwest.
us here, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was a nice balance between, action adventure destruction film, kind of fun, while also still in to show the real life impact these storms have on people's lives. They can ruin people or ruin a small town even.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There have been
so
small towns here in this area that have been almost completely wiped off the map.
mhm. So it does a good balance between that and gives you a little bit of science. At least Hollywood science, who knows how accurate. I'm pretty sure. Well, anyway, no one gets spoilers. But let's get more detail with spoilers. And at the very end, we'll give our ratings. So, with spoilers, what do you think? Really, what do you want to say? Any more details?
Um,
I will say, so it starts off really strong because I was really kind of surprised or shocked that he killed off so many of the characters early on.
yes, that was a big shocker. We were looking at each other like, "What the hell is gonna happen for the rest of the movie?" They just killed everybody off, including Kiernan Shipka, which I was really shocked that they brought her on just to be killed off at the beginning.
Yeah, they're tricking us.
I
Um,
know.
yeah, I was like, oh, she's in this movie. I didn't realize. It's great. And then she died.
Yeah, that's why we didn't realize.
Yeah, I think they did a great job introducing those characters, getting us to like those characters in the very little time we had, and to fool us into thinking that some of them were sticking around. I mean, I suspected like, well, maybe the boyfriend's gonna die or something. Something's gonna happen. Um,
It
but
took, like, 3 of them to bite it.
no, and it was pretty, just kind of matter of fact, like, poof, you're sucked away. Bye. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
which is how it would happen in that
Yeah,
situation.
exactly.
Either
So
that
that
or some massive thing of debris would just slam into you and kill you instantly,
Yeah, I think that's how one of them died, right? I think, but, Kiernan's character maybe got hit by debris, if I remember. But,
and then got
we
sucked away.
yeah, that's it's brutal. So that was a great way to show you like, "Hey, we're fun. Look at this kind of fun stuff. Look, Dorothy, and remember the old movie and stuff?" And then like, "Aha, mass murder." We're not messing around here.
But it was very effective because if we hadn't had that experience at the beginning of getting to know these characters, liking them, and then having them really shockingly killed, I don't think that we would have fully appreciated her PTSD that
No.
she was suffering throughout the movie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a major driving point for Kate, something that she has to deal with in her past. It makes her quit wanting to chase storms when that was like a big passion and quit trying to find a way to maybe destroy or shut down a tornado, right?
Yeah.
So, which is a huge thing if you can do it.
At least they didn't do a bomb at the top of the
Throw a
tornado.
bomb from a tornado or from
From a
a helicopter.
helicopter in the middle
Yeah,
of a tornado,
yeah, a little Sharknado fun
like
going on.
Sharknado.
It only works if it only works if there's sharks in the tornado. See,
Yeah, it only works for sharks.
yeah, it's a delicate balance. Yeah, it was a lot of trauma for her to deal with, and it felt pretty real, overall in that way. And I think that worked really well for the film. And then gave her another love interest with Glenn Powell's character, Tyler, that, was very he's a very different kinda character. He's a social media, you know,
Kind of a
hillbilly.
media whore.
Yeah. He's a fun character, and his posse were fun too.
They were.
Um, I do wanna give a shout out to one of the characters, Katie O'Brien, who played Danny. She's,
Yes.
had
She's from Indiana.
she's from Indiana. I worked with her on a short film from, friend of mine who directed that film, passed away years back.
Yeah.
Um, that was before she, like I mean, she was getting an acting bug anyway, right? But that's when she decided to go ahead not long after, moved to LA, and has had a bunch of good success. I'm happy to see that she's doing so well.
Yes.
So, that was a really interesting group of characters. The truck where they were, like, drilling the truck secure in the ground and shooting off fireworks and stuff, that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was creative, that's for sure.
I wonder how difficult that would be to actually pull off. I mean, obviously, here's the biggest thing, like, in reality is, like, trying to track a tornado and get to it close enough and everything to do certain things, like shoot fireworks into them and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gotta be a lot harder than they were saying, especially at night, you can't see the thing. So
No, you can't. That's why the nighttime tornadoes are so very dangerous
mhm,
because you can't see them and you can't see the debris flying around. I mean, you could have a massive EF5 tornado bearing down on you and you won't know it until you hear it a few seconds before it hits.
mhm.
'Cause
Yeah,
once you hear it, it's pretty much on top of you.
yep. Of course, that's part of Kate's superpower, right? She can be able to tell when a storm system might generate a tornado and kind of predict
Yeah.
where it's gonna go.
And I liked the British reporter who is with the crazy tornado wranglers.
Mhm. Yeah, he's a fun character.
Yeah, he had, bless his heart, probably the most honest reaction that a person would have if they went through an actual tornado. He just ran out and threw up.
Right?
He's screaming, "Oh god."
Yeah, there was a lot of fun, lots of action, lots some twists and turns. The theater scene, like when the theater is getting ripped apart, and her trying out her I don't want to say cure, but her I don't know what you want to call it, tornado dissolver
Yeah.
device. All that was really well done and intense. And I was really surprised that Kate and Tyler didn't kiss at the end. I'm not like a big romance fan or anything, but
I
I was like
know, I was
surprised.
really disappointed about that. I mean, I like my Hallmark movies where they kiss at the end and that means they live happily ever after.
Yeah, I wonder what why they made that choice, if it was trying to not, like, distract from her plot line or
I don't know, but that's my one big complaint about the movie.
I felt like it was just built up for that. I don't know, maybe they thought it was too much of a cliche. I don't know, but it felt kinda weird.
But things are
Um,
cliché for a reason.
yeah, because people like them.
Yeah.
I say, "Put the kiss in.
Yes.
Do a recut."
Director's cut with the kiss.
It's like the Star Wars recut of, Who Shot First, except it's gonna be,
Han shot first. I don't care what they say now. Han shot first.
Did they kiss or not? That's what it's gonna be. The kissing cut. Another shout out from what I read in trivia, I haven't really well, I guess I looked at IMDb to try to make sure it was correct, but apparently the son of the late Bill Paxton did appear in the rodeo scene as an angry hotel guest. His name's James Paxton, so that's a nice little nod. There's a few other little Easter eggs in the movie, I think, but, like I said, it's not directly connected at all to the original movie,
Yeah,
except
they
for the
had
door
a
thing.
little throwback to the cow scene in the original one was so famous, and they threw in a chicken scene instead this time.
But yeah, it was great. I really liked it way more than I expected to like it. I mean, I thought it was gonna be good,
Yeah, I
but
was the one who dragged you to see this one, so
I was gonna wait until it went streaming, but,
you can't watch Twisters on the regular TV, you gotta watch it on the theater. Oh, funny story, I was talking to someone who went to go see it in the theater, and when it got to the theater scene in the movie, that everything started in the theater, like, the screen started blinking and blinking and blinking, and then it went black, and she was like, "Wow, this is really immersive." But what happened was and then she was hearing thunder and everything. What happened was a storm was coming through and they lost power in the theater.
at least it didn't rip the wall away or anything
Yeah.
crazy, so
It started you know how it blinks a little bit before you completely lose power? So it was blinking and blinking, and then it went black, and then she heard this cracks of thunder and rumbles and carrying on, and she was like, "Wow, this is really immersive," and it took her a minute to realize that it was really storming.
but yeah, I thought it was a good movie. It was fun. It's, kinda movie that, all sorts of people would like, usually we talk about sci-fi fantasy, so I'm sure there's a meteorologist who probably watched it and said, "This is
This
science
is
fiction."
total fantasy, yeah.
I hope to say their warning stuff was pretty, crappy, like, everybody's always like, "Oh, I'm so surprised there's a tornado."
Yeah.
I feel like that happens late at night because people are asleep, they don't know about it and
Yeah,
stuff.
the nighttime ones, we don't get that much warning generally, although
Yeah.
the sirens usually go off.
Yeah, usually during the day, people are usually alert unless there's a big goof up. But anyway,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
was
you get a few minutes notice before it barrels down on top of you.
Yeah, well, and usually meteorologists are talking about like, "Oh, thunderstorms are coming.
The
Oh, it might be
storm
a big
system's
tornadoes."
coming,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
usually.
around here, they're talking about the storm system sometimes days in advance and about how it could produce tornadoes and stuff, so you get a few days notice for the storm system, and then they're watching the radar for, rotation on the radar, so you don't have to see it in person, you know, to call it.
Mhm.
So that's how they can say there's a tornado at night when you can't really see the tornado because 'cause they've got the on radar.
Yep.
When the reds and the blues are up against each other, making a couplet.
Yeah.
We've been through this a lot.
So yeah, so I think it's a good movie. Takes a lot of the stuff that was an original movie, kind of that worked and built upon that. And I think the good chemistry with the cast. I liked a lot of the devastation of tornado scenes were well done, and
Yes, they were heartbreaking.
uh, and there was interesting subplots like with the insurance company trying to take advantage of people's
Yes, which
property.
does happen. So I was glad that they called attention to some of these really sneaky, underhanded practices that some people profiting off of these tragedies. That happens not just with tornadoes, but I'm sure it does with the forest fires and things like that too.
Yep, there's always somebody trying to take advantage of someone's, you know.
Bad situation.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we enjoyed. I think we both liked the movie overall, but how did we rate the show? How many twisters out of a possible max of 10 do we give it, or should we maybe do something more positive? Because that sounds really bad, like storm chasers. Since I don't know if we want a mega storm. That feels like a negative.
Oh, I say we go with how many twisters
Okay, that's how many twisters? How many twisters out of 10? What
out
What
of
do you think?
10? Oh, I'd say maybe about 8, 8, 8.5.
8.5 twisters.
Yeah,
I think I will say. What do we say about Deadpool, Wolverine? I feel like we're in that
I
range,
don't
and I
remember.
I'm going to say 8.5 twisters. That's what I think. It was a really good movie.
You don't have to watch the original Twister to watch this one, but if you do, I think the original Twister's closer to a 10. It would be at least a 9.
What's hard to beat the original because they did it first.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, and I have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories, around that one too, so
yeah, the female lead character in that movie, the original one, I
Helen
think.
Hunt.
Yeah, I forgot her character's name though.
I can't remember the character's name.
I think there was like some initial thoughts of maybe having her in it, and they decided not to because they were probably thinking about her being, if she's going to be in it at all, beat the mom,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they thought it sounded better for her not to be the mom, like be still doing her thing out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, yeah, Maura Tierney, I believe, was the actress that played her mom, and she did a fantastic job.
mhm. Yeah, she did. Yeah, they did a real great job, Kate, showing her past and stuff and all that stuff. It was surprisingly good action adventure disaster type movie. So don't think you can go wrong watching it. It'll be fun, especially if it's on a big screen or a big screen at home if you wish. Um,
Yeah.
all right. So
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and tell us your favorite parts of the movie or what you thought might have been missing, like the kiss. Um, I'm not letting that go. Next episode, we'll be talking about the new M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap. So, what other movies, TV shows, or other things would you like us to talk about? Just let us know in the comments section.
and don't forget, if you found us with this episode, you can also hear us interview creators on GenreTainment or listen or watch us play different tabletop role playing games and also discuss them too over on Genre Play. You can find all those over at cabotcrossing.com or our YouTube channel at Cabot Crossing. Links in the show notes. Well, I think that's a wrap for today's episode.
Until next
Until next
time.
time.
Bad monkey.